Welcome to Tea and Our Lifestyles. I'm Tanya.
And I'm Rhonda.
And we're going to do another recipe. What is it called, Rhonda?
Black bottoms, you all. This is a plant-based dessert,
Ooh.
Tanya. It is so good. Now, let me tell you about this dessert. Okay, you can make it like a little fudge brownie, but I suggest to you to get those papers like you do for cupcakes, because when you make it, the chocolate chip is going to sink to the bottom. And then when you try to pull it out, the chocolate chips is going to kind of stick to the bottom of the pan. So I suggest you use the cupcake papers. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We ready to get started?
Ready.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Hi everyone. Today we will be making black bottoms. Black bottoms is one of my children's favorite. And so it's similar to, you can make it like a cupcake or like a fudge brownie, but today we're going to make it similar to a brownie. So we can need, I use cake flour, and I try to get the one with the non-GMO in it. And then sugar, cocoa, salt. I use plant-based butter. They ask you to use, or you can, a lot of recipes like my friend say, she asked, she usually use. Hello everyone, we will be making black bottoms today, which is similar to, you can either make it as a cupcake or as a fudge brownie. So today we will make it similar to a fudge brownie. First, we're going to use 1.5 cups of cake flour, which is, this one is non-GMO. We're going to use a 1/4 cup of sugar. We're going to use 8 ounces of cream cheese. And as you all can see, this is all plant-based. We're not using any eggs or anything like that. We're going to use the semi-sweet chocolates, Hershey cocoa, unsweetened natural powder, salt. I said plant-based butter instead of the oil. And we usually I melt that just a little bit, because we're using like a 1/4 cup of that. And some people use water, but I used plant-based milk. And then we're gonna also use baking powder. And of course, we're going to use pure vanilla flavoring. The cream cheese, the chocolate, semi-chocolate minis, morsels, and the sugar is what you're going to use as your cream base. And you'll see what I'm talking about with that. So let's get started. In a medium bowl, we're going to mix together the 8 ounce of the cream cheese and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay. As you see, we've mixed it until it's light and fluffy. Now we're going to move on to the dry ingredients. One last thing. Now we're going to fold in the mini chocolate chip morsels. So let's fold those in. Okay, so as we fold it, you'll see folding is just flipping over, going under, flipping over, under, flipping over, under, flipping over. And we're going to do that until it's all nice and covered with the cream cheese mix. So now we're ready to move on to the next phase, which are the dry ingredients. Now, you can use just 1.5 cups, but I like to use the entire bag because I like the chocolate chips. They're going to sink to the bottom, and it's going to create like a coating, almost like a frosting underneath, but it's on the inside of the actual fudge brownie. So in the dry ingredient mixture, I've added 2 cups, a cup and a half of the cake flour. And I like to sift mine, so it's in my sifter now. So we're getting ready to sift it. Okay, so now we've sifted our flour. And now we're going to add 1 cup of the sugar. We're going to blend that together. Just blend it. And I like to use just a regular fork to blend it. And then we're going to blend it all with our mixer once we add the liquid ingredients. So then we're going to add our 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of the cocoa butter. I'm sorry, the Hershey's cocoa, the unsweetened natural cocoa, just the dry powder one. Okay. You don't want to be adding cocoa butter. No, no, no. There's something totally different. You don't want to eat that. Okay. So now we're going to put a whale, and you hear the oven over there. The oven has been preheated to 350 degrees. So now we have a whale in the center. Let's put our whale there. I'm going to put my hands in it. So now we have our whale. Next, we're going to add our liquids. We're going to add our oil to this, and we're going to add our milk. Some people use water, but I prefer to use milk. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the baking powder and the apple cider vinegar. So that's going to be, instead of, a lot of people would use egg. So the baking soda, when it combines with the apple cider vinegar, it's going to create, as you all have known, some of you do these experiments, it's going to cause it to activate together, let's say unite. And that's what's going to cause our whole entire mixture to become a totally different texture. You'll see what I'm saying in just a sec. Okay, now we're going to add our milk. And I like to add part of the milk and oil, and then I mix it. And I blend it. My mixer. And I don't know what's going on with my mixer today. It's just one little arm working today. A little whisk. Get up. Other whisk will not attach. For whatever reason, I'm not sure. So then we're going to add the other half of the milk, which was a whole cup of milk. And then we're going to add the other oil, which was a 1/4 cup. So let's finish that, mix that together. Now we're ready for the vinegar and the salt. Baking soda, I'm sorry. And we're going to add a teaspoon of the vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and a teaspoon. I'm going to do the half because I just used that teaspoon on the vinegar. So I'm going to use a teaspoon. So I'm using 2 halves to make a whole of the baking soda. So we're going to, you see how it's activating each other. So we're going to mix that up. And then we're going to add it to our mixture. And you see a little bit of that mother in there. So we're going to mix that up. We're going to add it to our mixture and see what happens. It's going to make the texture of it totally, totally different. Let's watch how the texture of it just completely changes. Really can see it here. So really, you really can see it here. It really softens up the entire texture of this mixture. So then I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm sorry, a tablespoon. Because I like a lot of vanilla in mine. Anyway, that's that. Let's go ahead and mix the rest of that up. Okay, now we're ready to put the mixture in the pan. Okay, we're gonna scoop. We're gonna use a 1/3 cup measuring cup to just scoop out some of the batter. And we're going to scoop in to the square pan. We're going to fill up all of these with a 1/3 full, because we're going to add the cream cheese mix to it. And I like to spray my non-stick pan with a non-stick spray, but it's also plant-based. It's made from coconut oil. So let's fill all of the pans up. Well, all of the holes in the pan up. All the squares in the pan. We're going to do that. So any of the extra that spills, excess or anything that spills onto the edges, I always wipe that off, because you don't want that to burn while it's cooking. Okay, so now we're going to add a dollop of the cream cheese mixture right in the center of each one. I may have added too much to that one. Just a little dollop. And so we've already preheated our oven to 350. So now we're ready to put it in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. I'm gonna put our timer on. All right, all right, all right. Here are our black bottoms. And everyone see how they rose? We added no egg to that, none. So you can clearly make vegan desserts without eggs, or plant-based desserts. You don't even have to add eggs. Enjoy, everyone. Enjoy your black bottoms.